This is the Political Spotlight.
The Political Spotlight is a joke. It's more like a political flop.
Nobody listens to Bilbrey.
He's just a wannabe podcaster. No one takes him seriously.
He is a rude, crude dude that will never go any further than broadcasting from his mother's basement.
Bilbrey is a wrecking ball for Indiana politicians.
Grab another box of Twinkies and generic cola, Bilbrey.
And get back to your microphone and your audience of nobodies.
The Political Spotlight is a joke.
He is like a rude, crude dude that will never go
Bilbrey's a wrecking ball for Indiana. Shut that stupid Bilbrey up.
All right. Hey, did anybody hit the bingo? I don't think anybody hit the bingo. There were several phrases that the sheriff of Henry County did not say or behaviors that he didn't act out. However, he did say a couple of them several times. He did do a couple of the behaviors several times, and I believe from my card playing the Sheriff Sproles bingo card earlier in the evening, I think I got a total of eight or nine strikes. I got 8 or 9 crosses, which would be like 9 or 10 if you count the middle freebie of Sproles. So we have another Sproles bingo card extravaganza, a live Q&A session next week. The session today was really bizarre, and we're going to be talking about that in the second half of the show. Got a couple of things we're going to be talking about after the candidate interview, as we have been doing through the last couple of weeks. We do have a candidate interview lined up for you all, and this is an interview that we have lined up for you here in Delaware County, a candidate in Delaware County. We're back to Delaware County for this evening. We're going to be talking about this candidate here in just a little bit, and we will be getting to that. But then at the back half of the show, we'll be dealing with Sproles. So if you're here for the Sproles bingo, sit tight. We're going to get through this. We got to get through our candidate interviews. These are important, and then we will get to all of the craziness in the second half of the show. Yes. Thank you for your comments on the hair. All I did tonight was I slicked it back with a little bit of my Dapper Dan, and we got her slicked back. I'm going to get the haircut tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. It's Tuesday, and I'm going to do that first thing. We're getting this crap chopped off, and we'll be back to a regular person in very short order. All right, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we're going to be talking to a very special guest to the program. I think this is the first time he's appeared on the program. We'll have to ask him. I know he's been a commenter for a long time in the comment section. One of the bigger trolls in the comment section for most of your viewing pleasure or displeasure, depending on which side of the trolling you're on. There's somebody or some people out there claiming that we may or may not be related. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know if I'm going to, I don't know if he wants to own up to that. That might hurt him. Don't know if I want to own up to that. It might hurt me. We'll find out. We'll get to all of this and your other burning questions. The candidate that we are talking to this evening is David Williams, not that David Williams, the original David Williams, the Republican David Williams. We will issue a candidate invite for the Democrat David Williams, but it will be in the fall because he currently does not have a challenger for his race in the primary. And remember, we're only interviewing candidates that are in challenged races in this primary. And that is this race. This race is for Delaware County Council District 1. It's currently held by incumbent Dan Flanagan. He's a Republican running for re-election, and he's being challenged by David Williams, a Republican here in Delaware County. David Williams was born and raised in Delaware County. He currently serves as an elected precinct committee person for the Republican Party in Precinct 51. And while those are not always, something happened here, and I don't know why that just jumped. That should not have happened. Give me 1 second. We'll try to get this figured out here. I don't like what just happened there. I don't like when it jumps without me knowing why, but that's all right. We'll live with it. David, as a precinct committee person, did something pretty wild. He beat the party chairman. The race that David was in 2 years ago for this precinct position, David was facing off against, at the time, Ed Carroll, who was the Delaware County Republican Party chair, and David unseated him for unseat. He was unseated. I don't know if that sounds weird. For the precinct committee position, and David holds that position. David is also has served as a state delegate. He was down at the Republican Convention, state convention in 2024, and David was the only Republican Party member that I'm aware of that traveled to the rally against the property tax back in March a year ago, in March on St. Patrick's Day at the State House. And a claim to fame is he was down there and for Delaware County was able to record the state representative for District 33, J.D. Prescott, lying and saying that Prescott was going to fight for reducing property taxes, and he was going to be on the side of the people, and then he immediately did the exact opposite of that. So David did that, and he's been a Republican out there fighting the good fight. Like a lot of other Republicans, he's not necessarily always welcomed by the party, but he didn't ask anybody if they liked him being there anyways. He just said, hey, hello, I'm here. Kind of like the Kool-Aid man busting through the wall, oh yeah, and all. So we're going to talk to David. He's ran for Delaware County Council in the past, coming up short in an at-large race. He's currently running for the Delaware County Council District 1, and we're going to talk to him about his campaign, talk to him about where he thinks the county is, where he thinks the party is, and what he does or what he has planned, what he's going to do if elected to the seat. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to bring up Mr. David Williams, and here we go. Hello.
Hello, Chris.
How's it going, sir?
Doing good, sir. How you doing?
Doing all right. Willie, I don't understand why you might need to back out of YouTube, and maybe, I don't know why it wouldn't be working. It's working for everybody else. I don't know why that would be weird, but back out of there, maybe log out and log back in. But you're here on Facebook, and as long as you can see, that's what matters. But Facebook is home. So I appreciate you fighting the good fight, trying to get to YouTube. All right, David. So like we do for most of these candidate interviews, tell everybody that might not know who you are, what you're doing here, and why you decided to throw your hat in the ring.
Well, it started for me back in the 90s when a lot of the Democrats were in control of the IGA. And I just felt that I needed to get involved because I didn't like the way the state was going. So I volunteered to do door knocking for a lot of the Republicans in several districts. I was working in Indianapolis. We went to Carmel and some of the surrounding counties, or excuse me, surrounding cities, and we were just trying to get Republicans elected, and then I had a child, and I kind of stepped away from it for a while, and then started back in 2020, and I met Randall McAllister and Ryan Webb, and I kind of linked up with them, and we started doing a lot of campaigning for Trump and for Ryan Webb, and we just basically formed friendships there, and we were
It's been all downhill from there.
no, Ryan's a good dude.
Yeah, no.
And then in 2024, I kind of linked up with you.
Yeah.
And we challenged a few of the rhinos in the party because their paperwork wasn't correct. And then it's been downhill from there.
There we go. There we go. Now the truth is out. It's been downhill since you linked up with me.
Nah, good dude, man. Appreciate everything you do.
No, hey, yeah, we're glad to have you on the program. And, I think it's so, I was talking about it last night, and it's something that I talk about frequently. So real quick for everybody, so he's not all broken up over these questions. Earlier in the day, he had some kind of issue with his eye and had some medical treatment. So he might be needing to wipe excess fluid away from his left eye there. And so that's what's happening. If everybody's wondering like what's going on, he's not crying. He's just dealing with his overproduction of fluid, tears from his eyes. So, getting back to it, one of the things we were talking about last night, it seems like there is such a, yeah, that's right, Kate, as such a barrier to entry, politically speaking. It's a really bad thing. And so talk a little bit about, have you experienced that? Has the party welcomed you with open arms? Talk a little bit about your experience with getting into running and being involved and being a part of like what should be a bigger team.
Well, it goes back a couple of years when I ran, like you said in the intro, that I ran against Ed Carroll, and we did the challenges. It's been kind of not really open arms, but not that bad up until earlier this year when I reached out to the party chairman, the newly elected party chairman, and he kind of welcomed us for a few months, and then when we started the group text with him, trying to get candidates, trying to get the list, the walk-in list, he come and said, it's only for really candidates after the primary. He's not giving it because he was worried about the rhinos getting it, is what he put in the text back to us. And when I say us, it was me and you and two other people. I don't want to name who they are, but if they want me to, they can say it in the comments, and I will.
Yeah, well, that's,
you being a candidate too,
yeah.
You should have the list also, and
Certainly.
That's why I included. That's why three of us were in that with Mr. Overton, and
yeah.
He eventually gave me one list, but it was the wrong list. It was a precinct committeeman list, and he made me travel to the north side of Muncie to get it from a printed shop instead of emailing it to me. And the only reason why I'm bringing that up is because he said he was going to get me the precinct 51 list, which I'm a committeeman of. So I think I should get that for sure, but I also should get all the other precinct lists, especially in District 1 where I'm running, because my opponent has it, being an elected councilman. So I asked him about it, and he stalled for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. And then lo and behold, he he texted me one day. He goes, "Hey, I'm going to put it up there." Well, in the meantime, I found out about an app called the Band app that the candidates were involved with. And I asked him to put me on there, and he said, "Well, you got to talk to use your name for the highlighter queen, which is Jessica Piper."
Okay.
You're welcome. And I reached out to her. She put me on there. And then fast forward a few weeks, I get a text from that app, and it says that all candidates that are supporting someone else shouldn't, that's supporting, you can only support Republican candidates because the message was, I can't think of his name, the former
Ballard,
mayor,
Greg Ballard.
Yes. I'd seen that, and I called Randall, and I go, "Hey, did you get that?" And Randall goes, "No." He goes, "I'm out of that app." And I go, "Why?" And long story short, he just said he didn't want to be a part of it or whatever. But then I get a text from you, and you said, "Hey, have you heard this?" And I go, "Yeah." I said, "They put it out on the app that you're not supposed to support that any other candidate but the Republican." And I said, he said something about Ballard. And then 2 days later, I'm kicked off that, and I'm actually talking to another candidate, and we're on the phone, and I get a call from Overton after asking him why I'm kicked off of the Band app. And he goes, "I only put you're not being challenged for a delegate. So I'm not having you on the app. That's only for actual candidates." And I text him back. I go, "What's going on?" And I said, "I'm a candidate for county council." And I sent him a screenshot of the Indiana voters ballot where it shows me running against Dan Flanagan being an incumbent. And he goes, "Hold on, I'll call you." So he calls me up, and we get in a huge argument. He says that some stupid shit to me. And I just said, "You know what, Tim? You can keep your list." I said, "I'll just use the one that Mr. McAllister got us through the I-360. I don't have anything out here in District 1. I said, I'll just go do the door knocking." And ever since then, he's had me out of the app. I haven't talked to him, and we just been knocking doors.
You know, it's really crazy. I was texting with somebody earlier today, and we were talking about Randall. I had Randall on last night, and because I'm inviting everybody to come on. Right. Randall's opponent, your opponent, come on. Anybody's welcome to come on that's running, that's willing to come forward. I think they should. And it's interesting to me because, you know, everybody that I've talked to after last night, I've heard from a lot of people that did not like Randall going into last night.
Right.
And after they heard from Randall last night, I've heard from a lot of people that have said, "You know what? He seems really sincere. He really seems sincere. Like his information, it seems like he cares. It seems like he knows what he's talking about." And these people, some of these people said, like, I'm not going to vote for him still, or I don't want to vote for him, or, I don't think he's the right guy. But like the point, I think that there was a shift last night from people who saw Randall and see that he's not like an idiot. He knows what he's talking about. He's not doing this as a joke, or he's not trying to make a mockery. He's really working. He's got thoughts. He's got ideas. Maybe people don't like those ideas, or they don't like this or that, or they just, for whatever reason, like his opponent or whatever. That's fine. You're able to pick who you like. But the idea that the party is unwelcoming to Randall, because I think it's a very piss poor part on the Republicans' part, because they should have scooped Randall up and said, "You know what? You could be an asset. You are talented, and we could use you." And maybe Randall would have said, "You know what? Okay, like I'll be part of the team. Maybe I won't run this time. Maybe he would still run, but if he wins or loses, whatever happens, he could still feel welcome to the party, and he could be an asset." And the party, both parties, all the Republicans, Democrats, Libertarians, they should be welcoming to all. It's a big enough tent, and they should be able to foster these ideas and allow the free marketplace of ideas to go, and the best ideas can rise to the top, and let people work to their strengths. And I feel like, they're so quick to, kick you out and they don't like me because I speak out. If I see somebody doing something wrong, I'm going to call that out, much like you, whether it's a Republican or a Democrat or whatever. And they don't like that idea. And so, I'm glad that people are still pushing back, because used to, the party chairman would say, we don't like you. What? Oh, you got kicked. Did you leave there for a second?
Get kicked for a second. I'm back on. Sorry.
No, you're fine. That was quick. That was quick how you did that. Anyways, no, used to, they would say, we don't like you, and they would do everything, and then the people would say, okay, well, I'm not going to be involved, and they would just walk away. So I'm glad to see that even though you're getting some resistance, that you're still here and you're still pushing on. So that's good. Why run for Delaware County Council District 1? Why is that important to you?
Well, it's the only one that I can run for, and I don't have the time to do any of the other ones. I work a full-time job, and I like what I do. I just feel that the county's just overspending.
Yeah.
You had a candidate on here the other night running for commissioner, and he says that we have a shortfall, but I don't see anybody doing anything like business people do. When they have shortfalls, they start selling assets. We own, in this county, we own a lot of properties with the commissioners, with the Economic Development Commission, a lot of that other stuff. They ought to be selling that and kicking it back to the general. And I know there's laws that stop them from using certain monies for certain things, but I seen the sheriff go to the redevelopment commission and get allocated for sheriff's vehicles, which, that's good that they can do that.
Yeah. I think that's an issue that I've always talked with Ryan. I think in the past, if people could watch, if you go back and you watch any meeting that Webb was a part of, people have a lot of different thoughts. Yeah, right. People have a lot of different thoughts about Ryan and Ryan's outspokenness about his beliefs in the national politics, and people have all these things to say about him. But if they would just dial that down for a moment and let him be himself, if they want to argue with him and fight and debate him, that's fine. But if you look at Ryan as a councilman, Ryan, in my opinion, was fighting the fight. He was there to allow citizens to speak. Right. He was always open. He was always willing to answer his phone call, answer an email, and he was there to not just rubber stamp everything on through. Let's spin. He wanted to ask the questions. Why do you need this? What is this going to do? Why is it costing this much money? Do we need this at this time? Why didn't we talk about this, 3 months ago during the budget process? Why are you coming to us in February needing money when, we're just 2 months into the beginning of the year? And everybody else just absolutely, they think that's horrible. How dare he? He shouldn't be questioning these people. And, the problem was he was just one voice on the council.
He was basically the only voice.
Yeah. Yeah. And so it's important to have a position where if there are going to be people put on the council that's going to be like that, we need some coalitions. We need some people that will work together that can help. I don't think, first of all, I don't think that you're claiming to, like you're going to go on and just know everything day one. But the number one thing is I think you're willing to learn. I think you're willing to work hard to find out the information that you need, and you're willing to ask questions. And I think that's the number one thing that we need is we need people to be able to ask questions to get answers for the public to know, for you guys to know, to make a good decision. So, what is your, I mean, we've been talking about it there, but your opinion of currently just the state of Delaware County, of where we are, the city of Muncie, Delaware County. I mean, I don't think that we're necessarily in as bad a spot as some of the other counties that I'm involved with, but we are also standing on the precipice, and we could go left or right, bad or good. And, I think we need better elected officials to do that. What do you say about that?
I agree with you that we are above, I would say, like a Madison County, but we are behind them in our roads. And how I know that is I travel both of the counties. I also go to Henry County. I go down to Wayne County. I travel a lot in my job. I see a lot of the roads, and we have the worst roads. And I don't know what district this is, but I was traveling to work about a year ago, and I went down Bethel to 600 and went out towards 28. And
Okay.
when you go down that way, you can see where the problem that we're having with the commissioners and their ordinance for controlling dadgummit, the sides of the roads, where they have the like Miller Pipeline and the other utilities coming down there tearing up our roads.
Yeah.
So I seen that they just dug into like 17 sections of this road. And I mean, when you travel on it, you hit it. I mean, it knocks your drink out of your hand.
Sure.
So I called up Tommy Humbert and, told him, I said, hey, what can we do about this? I said, I'm traveling down this road. And I said, you guys just paved this last year in 2024. And he goes, well, what do you think we can do? And I go, I mean, you get with the commissioners, get with someone. He goes, well, let me get with Stephen Brand. And Stephen Brand, I don't know if he knows that I was involved in it, which I'm not worried about that. Tommy ended up getting them to repave that from the first bump all the way down to the 17th bump. And you can go down there today and see where it was repaved, and it's a lot better. I mean, we have to do better as a community, policing everybody. And when I mean policing is like, we can't have people tearing up our roads. I mean, that's just something that can't happen. But speaking of Ryan Webb, I want to go back in 2022. I was down in southern Indiana at a get together on a lake, and a guy pulled up a video, and I kind of forgot about Ryan after he got elected. He's elected, so let him go do his thing. And he pulled it up where look at all these guys. They're bad mouthing him because he said he was a black lesbian. And I don't mean to bring up old wounds. I just want to say it that, I took it as, wow, man, they are really coming after him for that. And, either he has the freedom of speech or he don't. And I remember coming back and talking to him, like a month later. And I said, Ryan, we was down there. And I said, I kind of forgot all about you. Hello?
Go ahead.
I said, I kind of forgot all about you. And he goes, who's this? And I go, you don't remember your number one fan? And he goes, yeah. He goes, I said, well, how's it going, man? I said, I kind of forgot about you, and you made the national news, bro. And he we talked, and we kind of linked back up, and, that's when I decided that I was going to run for council. That, I just don't think that it's the job of other council members to badmouth, another councilman. He's put up there, he's elected by the people, let him speak his piece. And my pronouns, I couldn't see whose name that was, but my pronouns are me and me.
Okay. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Listen, you have a lot of people on the council. It's been this way for years in Delaware County. Delaware County until 2020, 2 years ago, 4 years. It would be 4 year. It'd be we're coming up on 4 years ago. Was a 6 Republicans, 1 Democrat. They had a long-term Democrat on the council, and every now and then she would be a vote in the no column, and it would be like 6-1. But the majority of the time, it was a 7-all vote. If you watch Delaware County Council, the council, I think you'd be hard pressed in the last since Webb has been off the council to find a vote that hasn't gone 7-0 or maybe 6-1, on a very strange situation. And I just don't think that it is designed to be like that. And the Democrat Party, I think they're trying to build some people up to run, but they're still not running lots of people in the county. We're not running like Democrats in all the council seats and all the commissioners. They might run a candidate here or there. So if it's going to be a council filled with Republicans, then we need to get to a point where we have Republicans on the council that can disagree. You know what I mean? And we need people who understand that it doesn't mean that you think the next person is a bad guy or that you wish wrong of them or whatever, but we need people that can disagree. And number one, I want to ask.
Hey, Kelly.
Oh yeah, there's Kelly. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I hope you're doing well, Kelly. But so number one, I don't think you would have a problem disagreeing with the other members of the council. Do you think that you would have a problem disagreeing with Ryan if that need arose?
I've disagreed with Ryan. When we've talked on the phone, I told him that he ought to dial it down some, that, he needs to realize that he's elected official for the people. He's not up there for himself. And I'm not saying he's been up there for himself, but, some of your national politics, you ought to leave at the national level. But I also agree that, freedom of speech is a wide, broad broom.
Yeah.
People want to, they don't want you to say it, but they want to be able to say it. Like it's a catch-22. I don't like everything that the Democrat Party does, but I'm not out there trying to protest their right to speak it like they are us on the Republican side. And I've been a Republican for 30 years or more, 34 years. And I've contributed to a lot of campaigns on the state level and just to the party in general. And I'm not saying that should give me an open pass to say whatever I want, but it ought to get me, at least a little respect from the party, which I don't think it's going to happen under this chairman, just like it didn't happen under the other chairman.
Yeah,
but I didn't mean to not answer your question.
No, you're fine.
I think if you don't disagree with someone once in a while, that there's a problem with the relationship, that, it shouldn't be, you shouldn't look at your friends or anybody with rose-colored glasses,
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Asking a question that a lot of people have wondered, specifically here in Delaware County and Muncie. We've been talking about this in different ways for the last couple of weeks and months. It's been going on in Muncie for a while, and I know the council doesn't specifically have a vote to approve or disapprove, but they would definitely be funding things like this. What are your thoughts on the flock camera situation that's currently going on, and your thoughts as if you're elected to the council? Is that something that you would be interested in funding, not funding, talking about it? What's your thoughts?
I think flock cameras are just a total waste of time. And I understand they solve crimes. I get that, but they don't solve that many crimes over personal liberties. And I'm a First Amendment advocate. I'm a Second Amendment advocate. I think the Constitution is being bent so far that, here in a few years, we may not have a Constitution. And it's being attacked by a lot of different people. And the other night I told you, or excuse me, you told the audience, and I was listening, I love the civil rights lawyer. Freedom is scary.
Yeah.
Deal with it. I mean, as soon as you said that, I went, oh, he listens to that too. I said, I love that guy.
Yeah.
Your government should work for you, not you work for your government. And I think that's what's happening now. I mean, I'm on several calls a day, just buddies and stuff. And we talk about, like, we got to work till April before we actually make money for ourselves. If you add up the amount of tax that you pay in this country, that you work till mid-April to late April before you start making money for yourself.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's just, there's something fundamentally wrong with our government if people are still thinking that's a solid way.
Absolutely. Yeah. So Stumblefoot said, I like this guy a lot now. He had asked the question,
Stumblefoot, I'm happily married. I'm just kidding. I'm not married.
He's single and looking to mingle. So Stumblefoot asked if you are voted for, if you win, will you behave and listen to your constituents' concerns?
Yes. I was just talking to two constituents over the weekend, and I actually helped one. Well, me and Randall did. It was Randall's first, and she said I could put a sign up in her yard, and we actually went over there and helped her alleviate her water problem. Didn't charge her a nickel.
Yeah. Good. So are you running? Are you also running for a delegate in this race as well?
Well, that's funny you ask, because there's, for whatever reason, there's 18 spots open in District 1.
Yeah.
And there was only 11 of us signed up for it. So we're automatically in just by proxy that there's not enough people to fill it.
Sure.
Which it shouldn't be like that. It ought to be divided up equally.
Yes.
And it's silly games like that hurt the party, hurt America. I mean, you guys' voice over in District 3, you don't get the voices that we have over in District 1.
Yeah.
And, that's fundamentally wrong. But I am running. I'm already voted in. And I'm not for sure why they even have it on the ballot.
Yeah. Normally they don't do that.
In 2024, they didn't.
Yeah. So it doesn't make sense why they decided to do that this time. I feel like if they wouldn't have done that, it would have saved money. I'm very shocked. I just don't know why they decided to do that.
The absentee ballots alone, cost something to print 11 more names on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, if we're that strapped for money, I mean, why aren't we penny pinching?
Yeah, right. Absolutely. Well, and that goes into what I was going to ask you this, but Ryan brought it up, and so this is a good question. In all fairness, I have not seen the meeting today. I have not been able to watch you. Okay, so I was just getting ready to ask you if you had watched the Delaware County Commissioners meeting. I need to take a look at that. And I'm going to watch that as soon as this episode is over. I'm going to watch it, and we're going to talk about it tomorrow, because this is very concerning. Now, I'm letting everybody know that I have you seen this post by Rick Inser? Have you heard anything about what I'm getting ready to talk about?
I did see the Mr. Inser post, and that is very concerning.
And I normally don't do this with having a guest on for candidates, but I want to take a second and read this. so that you can get it and the audience if they haven't got this. So this is Rick Inser's view of what happened at the commissioners meeting today. If anybody watched the meeting, you can speak up and speak to this. So I want to put the caveat out here. This is not my thoughts. These are not my words. These are the words of Rick Inser. He was in the audience today, and this is what he had to say. Delaware County government intends to raise other property taxes to offset the loss from property tax relief granted by the state. Imposing taxes for a cumulative capital development fund could easily raise $1.3 yearly for the roads, bridges, and buildings. That was the recommendation of financial advisor Baker Tilly of Indianapolis to the county commissioners on Monday, who took immediate action. We need more revenue, said County Commissioner Shannon Henry, joined by President Sherry Riggin and Stephen Brand. The commissioners will hold a public hearing on May 18th to consider a CCDF where it could be adopted at that same meeting. Since the CCDF is a property tax, remonstrances can be filed by taxpayers calling for more hearings and the result in possible litigation. Scott Finley of Baker Tilly explained the process and estimated the maximum tax would add about $55 yearly to a home valued at about $165,000. Some taxpayers at Monday's meeting thought it was incredible county government, all run by Republicans, would raise taxes in an election year when people are already upset over higher gas and food prices. An all-Republican county council even passed a resolution last year to oppose property tax relief because the revenue lost to local government. Brand explained the tax would not be imposed for 2 years, when reduction in other property taxes would impact local government and schools. There was mention that the county depended on economic development income taxes and federal rescue funds from the pandemic to operate. However, some taxpayers continually remind the government that EDIT should help bring jobs to the community, while rescue funds were supposed to help the people. Shannon Henry, commissioner, pointed out how other local tax dollars for bridges and roads were not enough and were supplemented by the state and federal dollars. City government is looking at raising income taxes to cover the tremendous cost of public safety, despite using opioid settlement money for raises to police officers and firefighters. Spring property taxes are due on May 11th, and some taxpayers complain about the increasing assessments that also raise taxes on homes, businesses, and farms. Besides homeowners getting a break from the governor and state lawmakers, businesses no longer pay personal property taxes on equipment and machines. So going back to Ryan's question, the initial question, how do you feel about increasing taxes? Apparently, Delaware County Republicans are all for it. Will you go against them?
Absolutely. 100%.
Okay.
I mean, we're taxed too much right now.
Sure.
And I want to, since you brought it up in that post, here's one of the bridges. I'm going to text it to you, and you can shoot it up if you want.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
All right. This is a bridge out by my house. It's been that way for 10 plus years.
Are you sending it to me on Messenger or phone?
On the phone.
Is there any way you could send it in Messenger? No. That's fine. That's fine.
I don't have Facebook on my phone.
That's all right. That's all right. I can handle it.
So that's a bridge that's been deteriorating for a lot of, over 10 years. And as you can see in it, that's got rebar extruding from it. You can clearly see that. I called up the bridge. I think the county engineer. I think before she left, I can't think of her name right offhand. And you there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't see the timer ticking. Sorry. Thought it froze.
Hold on.
All right.
Hold on here. What am I doing? Okay. Yeah, we're there. Sorry about that.
That's all right. It's your show, brother.
Go on. What were you saying? I'm trying to pull this up
That
here.
bridge is deteriorating, and I called him about it and told him, say, hey, what can we do about this? Because, I mean, it's not only an eyesore, but it's also a safety problem. Now,
Sure.
that's a deck bridge, and what a deck bridge is where was a former state road.
Yeah.
And the bridge itself is good to go, but the side rails, as you can see in them pictures, are just a complete. I mean, it just looks trash. And that's they want to raise taxes, but they're not even fixing the bridge out on 332.
It's telling me the photo you sent me is not available. Oh, no, I got it.
Hey, these iPhones are.
Okay, I see what you're doing here. So it's a bunch of pictures you've sent me.
Oh, sorry. I wanted to give you. That's both sides of the bridge now. That's the eastbound and the westbound.
Okay. Let me work on getting these up here. And where's this at?
That's bridge 144, I believe, is the number bridge. It's on 550 South.
Okay.
And, we have an elected official that lives out here by me, and you think he would do something about it because he travels that way. I don't want to say who I live by that lives down the street from me.
Okay.
Somebody might know a cup of food.
All right, here. Let me get this. I do want to put this up here for everybody to see. I'm just
and that bridge out there but on 332 it crosses over into Madison County.
Yeah,
I mean that's 2 years been going on, and they're still hurting a lot of trucking companies that can't come through that way.
Sure.
They got to go around. Like if you come from Madison County over this way, you can't travel 332. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, and WTHR. I don't know if it was yesterday or I guess it was Friday or Saturday. WTHR released some kind of finding saying that Indiana's got the best roads in America or something, and it's like, dude, what? Right. I mean, I don't even know. I mean, like, I thought it was like something they shared from April Fool's. I was just way confused on how they could even, like, that seems like way laughable. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this as well as I thought you would. Here's the picture. I'll put this up on. I'll take the better shots of this and put this on my social media for those that are wanting to see this. And you'll be able to see it better here. But yeah, here you can see where the it's just being eaten away, or I don't know what exactly causes this, but this is erosion, just time, wear and tear.
Well, that used to be a state road, and they come dodown there with the liquid brine, and liquid brine breaks everything down, especially concrete. And that's one of the reasons why it's like that.
Yeah.
That bridge has been there. Oh man, a better part of 3/4 of my life.
Sure.
Over 40 years. Because that was one of the main bridges that was on 67 before they turned it into the 3 curves out here.
Oh yeah. Okay. Now I'm familiar with where we're talking now. I got where we're at now.
Just to the west of my residence out here in God's country.
Yeah. Yes. So, well, just kind of winding her down a little bit. What's your thoughts? How are you feeling about this race, and what's your thought about how things could shake out? Like, what's your thoughts? Are you feeling confident about this race, or what is your thought?
I don't like to overthink anything. I mean, he's a worthy opponent. He's been around for a while. He was on the town council. He's been, in politics majority of his life, and his father was in before him. I'm a first generation political candidate. I think that's going to help me if I'm elected, and I think it'll help the county and the community as a whole. I mean, even down in the Muncie, because a lot of people don't know that my district runs from Daleville all the way out 67, all the way through downtown to the Delaware County building. And I've reached out to people in Muncie. They don't hear nothing from their elected officials. They're upset about the water, rightfully so. I mean, I made a mistake when I was out door knocking with Randall, that I stopped by the Shell station there at, I believe that's 29th, right there by the Walmart.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And I kind of was done for about 20 seconds, and I filled up a cup of water, and I smelled it, and I went, good. I'm not drinking that, and poured it back out. And I said, hey, I'll take a Pepsi. And, it's just one of them things. But
Yeah.
I think Dan is too much of a party insider. And I think the county would do a lot better with me as a candidate than him.
Yeah. Yeah. You go ahead?
And just so the people know, I'm self-funded. I'm not taking any money from anybody. Not taking no money from the party. I'm not taking no money from any business. Not anybody.
Okay.
All self-funded myself. Just from my own bank account.
Sure. Absolutely.
And if you don't mind me saying real quick, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So getting back to the council was, all in on the SB1. And, like most political people, you have a trickle down effect. So the state level tells the county what to do, like all that. What's Ryan saying?
We've got a statement here. David has never used the N-word in front of me. Cannot say the same for the other guy.
I've never been your neighbor, Ryan. What are you talking about?
Okay. And okay, so all right, back to what you're stating here is with the SB1.
SB1, they all voted unanimously to, oppose SB1, any tax breaks, and like most of them did. They said, well, we can't fund the government. Well, how about we, reduce the government?
Yeah.
There's never been a problem with too much liberty or freedom. There's always been a problem with too much government. I mean, that's a history lesson from the 70s when I went to school.
From the 1770s even,
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's just such a scary word, scary thought for so many of these people. I don't know what it's going to take. I mean, I think it's really scary to me, because I almost feel like for there to be major change, I hate saying it, but I feel like it's just going to take something really, really bad to happen, like on a major level, for there to be some kind of major change, to get people, to snap people into it, snap people out of it. To me, like I said, I said this to somebody the other night. I don't know who it was, one of the candidates, but I can remember back when I was 10, 11, 12, coming up and being involved in politics back then. People had, going to vote was a process that took some time, because you had to go down. You had choices in each category. You had 2 or 3 people that you could see. And now, I mean, there are elections that you can go in and out in minutes, like just a 2 or 3 minutes, and you voted for the 2 people on the ballot. Boom, bang, bow, and you're there and you're done, and that's it. And that is a major problem. You know, we need to get to a situation where the party, either the party accepts people or people stop giving a shit and they start just running and not being afraid of the parties. And we have choices, you know, I've been saying this in Henry County, they have some very bad choices in their sheriff's race down there, but I would rather have several bad choices than no choice.
I agree.
You know, and I just have Sproles move to Delaware County. He can make big changes. Yeah. But you know, I like that you're running. I like that people are running. I like that people are coming into the fold. And I think more people need to come into the fold. And we need to start to shake things up a little bit, you know?
If there's one candidate that started that, and I'm not being a ball washer by no means, like most of the party, Ryan said that verbatim on the council. He said, I want to see more people involved. He goes, I want to see people, you know, it shouldn't be the same tyrants up there. And not all of them are tyrants, but I think after 2 terms, it's time to step away.
Well,
we just found out through Brandon, he's a new candidate. You know, he's been in there for 18 months or whatever he's been in there. He just found that the insurance for the retirees, that we were funding them almost 80%. You know, and how is that right? You know, nowhere else in government, or except for government, that you can steal from the people.
Yeah.
Oh, I shouldn't say that because we just had that happen a couple of weeks ago too. You know, I mean,
absolutely.
There's too much money that they're holding on to somewhere. These people that've been in there, and I remember when I was on the council too. They were saying, "Well, that's just the way it's always been." Just the way it's always been.
There's nothing you can do to change it. That's the way it's always been. Well, and that's ridiculous. The thing. My grandfather has always been somebody that's paid attention to what goes on politically speaking. Right. More so at the national and state level, not really so much local, but I would say in the last several years, definitely since they watched the program here, that he's been watching things. He's been watching the program and getting involved more with things at a local level. You know, one of the things that we talk about all the time is he just cannot believe how much money passes through these, not even like the commissioners and the councils, but just these offshoot boards, the Board of Works, the Redevelopment Commission. You know, if you listen to these weekly meetings, these monthly board meetings, and you really start to figure up the amount of money that they're voting on during these votes that last for a minute. You know, there's a grand total discussion about bills being paid, and the total of the bills, just weeklies, $2 million, $3 million, $1.2 million, $900,000, $800,000, $1.7 million, you know, and it's like that, man, that happens every Wednesday. That's happening every Wednesday, you know, all 52 weeks a year. You know what I mean? Like, that's really a lot of money. And nobody had any idea the amount of money that moved through the hands here, you know, just in little podunk Muncie. You know what I mean? Like, imagine in Indianapolis or Fort Wayne or Chicago or New York. You know, that would be just, you know, unimaginable. And I think that people really need to start paying attention to that.
Well, I think you said it best. Your grandpa, he's retired, and you know, he rightfully so. He earned his dues, but he has time to do that. But when you go to a full-time job, you know, if it and I'm not kissing your ass or Kate's ass or Brandon, I know Brandon ain't been around, but if it wasn't for people like you that are putting this content out for people to see, I mean, I didn't have a clue of it until, you know, I started watching you way back when you were walking the streets, you know, talking while he was walking out on the streets, and perception is reality.
Yeah. Well, Yeah, no, and that's right. And so here's a good question. Michelle Lynn on Facebook saying, why is this, meaning the council meetings, commission meetings, council meetings, why are these only morning meetings? This is something I've argued with forever. And so essentially like if you go to the Muncie City Council meetings, these are evening meetings because the city council is basically a part-time job. These people are coming from working day jobs. It's wild to me. It really shows you the people that gets involved in the county, because the county, in order for you to participate, you've got to be okay, and your boss has to be okay. Your job has to be okay with you saying, hey, once a month, I'm going to take off a Tuesday, or if you're on the commissioner, twice a month, I'm going to take off just a random Tuesday or 2 Mondays a month, and I'm going to take off anywhere between an hour and a half, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours for these meetings. And then at least once a year for the budget meetings, it's like a whole week. And people don't think about that. I've always said we need to push for these meetings to be in the evenings. They say, well, the reason that we have them in the morning is because it's better for the department heads that we need to have here in the meetings. And I'm like,
right,
there's ways to work around that. That's nonsensical. That is a bullshit answer. Kate's answer is probably the truth. The reason we have these things in the meeting is so they can work mostly in the dark. And that is, that's
exactly.
absolutely true. If you are on the council, would you be a voice that would be willing to push for having evening time meetings if that's feasible?
Oh, most definitely. I mean, look at the Muncie City Council. How far did they go into it? Was it was 2:00 in the morning or something like that a few months back?
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah.
You know, if we're all about fair government and we're worried about businesses wanting to come to Delaware County and not leave or not come here, then open up the doors. Let everybody see how the government works.
Absolutely.
And release records faster.
Oh yeah. That has
that's
to
ridiculous.
happen. Yeah. That has to happen. Well, I'll give you the last word. You have anything you want to say to the people, or the people that are watching, or people that will be watching?
Next weekend, I'm getting ready to put it out for another meet and greet in Yorktown. So
okay.
People can come out. I'll be posting that and put it out on social media, and I'll be.
All right, get that to me. We'll definitely share that information.
All right.
And I'd like to come out to that.
If you don't mind me saying one last thing.
Sure. Yes. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
If your grandpa's here,
say, yeah.
if he needs a driver for that red car out there in his garage, I'd be more than happy to warm it up for him. Take it down the road with him.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a beautiful car.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. For the people that are not aware, he's referencing a 1957 Pontiac Chieftain. Super Chief. It's a Super Chief, and it's definitely. I think I've had it on the program before. I've shown pictures of it, but yeah, it's definitely a beautiful vehicle, and I will make sure. Listen, you're still talking to the wrong person. That's not his deal. That's my grandma's deal. You'd have to talk that. I got
brownie points with her, so I think I'm 50% in.
Yes,
I might be able to get the keys.
That's good.
I do have one last thing about the ballots. So on the delegate ballots, you don't necessarily need to vote for me as a delegate because I'm already in. You'll see that I'm on the back side. There's like one full column, and then there's three names on the other side. Mm-hmm. I sent you that picture the other day.
Yeah.
Just pull Republican ballot and vote for David Williams if you want your property taxes to go down. I'm not saying that I can get them down in the next year, but we're going to cut spending. We're going to cut appropriations. And my opponent, I was researching this for, coming on your show, and he, along with the other council, appropriated in February of 2025. I believe it was the same meeting for the SB1 opposement that him and the council appropriated for the Economic Development Commission $5.4 million. And I mean, you was saying, it kind of hit my brain again when you was talking about your grandpa saying all this money that goes through there.
Yeah.
You know, that, I mean, that's a lot of money. And I mean, they just gave away $2 million the last economic development meeting.
Yeah, absolutely. That Ryan said it was the second meeting of the year.
Yes. Yes.
The second meeting of the year. And it's like, why is that happening? Why is something like this happening in
they know they can
February?
Do it. They don't have anybody on there that's opposing them. You know, they can just, it's grease the rails, run it through. Absolutely.
100%. Yes. Thank you, Kate. Yes. So people know you do have a Facebook page. People can contact you on Facebook. You are very open to people talking to you. You will communicate with people. The Facebook link is down here. It is David Williams. The Facebook page is David Williams for Delaware County Council. Be sure that you look for the Delaware County Council. There are two David Williams out there. One is a Democrat, one is a Republican. There's only one David.
The other one's Dave. I think he wanted to change his name to garner some votes or some silly bullshit. I mean, I've known the guy for 35 years. He never went by David until I was on the ballot.
Dave, I know, and that is a.
I don't dislike the guy. I just, I don't want a ticket. This is really reason why I'm saying that.
He's a pretty good dude. I don't have an issue with him.
I like him. He's a good dude.
He's a pretty good dude. So he's got a Facebook page here. You can find that. Open voting is early voting is currently open. Rather, you can vote in the if you want to go now, like during the week, you can go to the Delaware County building. Delaware County building, early voting, 100 West Main Street. Early voting is open during the week from 8:30 to 4. And then on Monday, the Monday before the election, so Monday, May 4th, you can vote from 8:30 to noon. And so you can do that in person in the Delaware County building. If you work and you can't get there and you want to go on the weekend and you're going to go vote early, you can go vote at the Delaware County Fairgrounds at 1210 North Wheeling. And early voting will be this Saturday, April 25th from 8:30 to 4 p.m. And then Saturday, May 2nd from 8:30 to 4. So you have those options. And then on Tuesday, May 5th, the primary election day, a couple of things. Your vote centers are here, and that's a really shitty sheet. I will get these bigger so you guys can see them. But there are these vote centers here. I will make sure that you can see this. That information's out there, and we'll make sure it's bigger for you guys. But you can go anywhere in Delaware County. If you need help, please don't hesitate to reach out. I will help get you to someplace, help whatever you got to do. I don't care who you vote for. Just go get out and vote. I want people to do that. You have to be there between 6 and 6 on election day. You have to be registered, and you had to have registered before 11:59 on Monday, April 6th. So if you're not registered, you're kind of SOL. But that's just the way that it goes. This is the primary. So you have to pick a Republican or a Democrat ballot. Okay. You have to pick a Republican or a Democrat ballot when you go in. You can't pick and choose. That's in November. So that's very, very important that people need to understand that. So, well, David, I appreciate your time.
You too. I just want to give out my phone number real quick. The campaign line.
Do your
if
thing.
anybody wants to get a hold of me, it's 765-518-1070.
Wait. Say it again. What kind of weirdo gives out a phone number? 765
518.
Okay.
1070.
518 1070. 518. Why wouldn't you say 518 1070? 518. That sounds so weird.
It's just,
maybe that's a Williams thing. My grandma gives phone numbers too. Weird.
Well,
my grandma gives a phone number.
Williams' name, sir. You come from a Williams. Come on.
Absolutely. Good. Well, I appreciate you coming on and talking with us.
You having me.
518. Yeah, that is a very weird number. Oh God, that's what's wrong with you.
Uh-oh. What? Webb, don't be texting me while you're in the shower. What the hell? Weirdo.
Hey, that's kind of like the Muncie city engineer.
Right.
Yeah, maybe they belong to a group. All right. Well, I appreciate you coming on and talking with us, and we will see what you what goes on. You're always welcome back, and we'll go from there.
All right, sir. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Bye-bye.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. David Williams. We'll have to get to whether I'm his uncle or he's my uncle next time. But that was David Williams. He is running for Delaware County District 1, Delaware County District 1 counselor. He's running against current incumbent Dan Flanagan. That's David Williams running against Dan Flanagan. I've reached out to Dan. Hopefully Dan will come on. I have not heard back from Dan yet. So it is what it is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that means it is now time for us to talk about the one, the only Sheriff John Sproles. Ladies and gentlemen, we are under a Sproles watch. And I tell you, if you missed out on tonight's live Q&A thing, like Kate missed out on it, you missed a freak show. Not because he did his generic, normal, everyday thing where he like freaks out and does weird things. He didn't really say anything too crazy this time. He was very subdued. I'll be honest. I am not a doctor. I do not play a doctor on TV. I don't know anything about any of that. He just, in my opinion, how to say this without getting sued. He just seemed like he was, I don't know, feeling no pain. You know what I mean? He just seemed like he didn't seem like himself. I don't know. He just seemed off to me. So a couple weeks Sheriff Sproles says, looks like his face is retaining water. They've been saying this for a while now. I don't know. He said he's gaining weight. His brother and him, they had this big goofy thing where they're talking about who's gaining weight, like whatever. Anyways, yeah, something's up there. I think it's the stress. He's stress eating. That's what I'm hearing. He's stress eating. I just, I'll be honest, something seemed off. So a couple weeks back, Sproles made these announcements that he was going to do these live Q&A sessions on his Facebook page. And he made this announcement. What was noticeable? Jason, I'm interested in what you're saying is noticeable. The water weight, or the fact that he looked a little out of it, or I don't know, looked strange to me. He made this announcement that he was going to do this, and then he made that announcement on his announcement for his wedding anniversary. Okay, that was very strange because, as we said at the time, his wife told him she did not want him running for re-election. Okay, she did not want him running for re-election. So I found it odd that he decided to announce this. Like, what a slap in the face. You know what I mean? Well, he received all these loving and adoring compliments. Oh, great, because it was connected to the anniversary pitch. Well, then a couple days later, when he shared the post again, just without the anniversary stuff, it was interesting because he had a much different comment section. Everybody was blasting him, asking him if he was going to tell the truth, asking him if he was going to censor people. It just wasn't the same love fest for Sproles. So I find that to be interesting. So we watched the first interview after we watched several interviews. Oh, thank you, Jason. Yeah, right. So we watched the first the first live session. We had watched some other interviews. We'd watched him perform this last couple of months. And then with all of the other Sproles things that we've noticed from him over the years, Brandon and then Kate had this great plan. It was I talked to Kate after this the other day. It was mostly Brandon, and then she kind of helped with the idea. We had this great idea. They had this great idea. Our team had this great idea to run a Sheriff Sproles bingo card game during the last two live Q&As. So we put up this bingo card. We put it out for all of you. We've seen it. We went through it. And then we decided to run the show. And we live streamed the show. He live streamed it. I told everybody you need to go to his page if you want to ask the questions. And I'm going to be honest. I don't think a lot of people got the message. Not from us, but from him. I don't think people were interested because today's just kind of got off slow. It was a little different. There weren't as many questions, and you could just tell just a whole lot of things were different. I don't know. We're going to watch part of it. We're not going to watch the whole thing because you can go back on our link and watch it. But I am going to put this up and I'm going to watch parts of it for you. Okay. And that's the whole foot. And I want you guys to see what I'm seeing and hear some of these things. It was definitely a lot more of the Josh show. And so let's listen to this. Okay. We're going to go past his self-produced commercial here and we're going to get straight to it.
All right. Welcome. We are back on Saturday Night Live. Or no, it's Monday Night Live. And looking forward to
just
this
right
section.
there, right there, that thing just seemed real weird to me. Why, okay, I get it. I don't know what to say. Like I've made that stupid joke before, like live from Saturday night. It's, but I normally make it on Saturday night. Like I'm not going to say, but I'm also not running for sheriff. He has tiny eyes, but those eyes are slits. Looked very pie-eyed kind of at times. And then he's got this, just very strange. His eyes change in this at different times. Just let's watch this and we'll see. It gets very weird. From the very first joke, live from Saturday Night Live. No, it's Monday night. And then he laughed. And Josh does his Josh is like a puppet. Like he just sits there and he somebody's under the table working the works. Here we go.
I think last time we said we'd do 45 minutes and there's a lot of questions that we couldn't get to. So we might roll this up to an hour. We'll see how that goes. But for those of you who think this is scripted, I've been working nonstop today and I just walked in a couple minutes ago and my chief deputy here, Josh Smith, I've been at a church convention in Tennessee, and so we've had no conversation about this event tonight at all.
Why does he keep laughing?
Totally unscripted. We're going to be talking about facts while being considerate of feelings, and we want to answer questions from Henry County voters, Henry County citizens. So whenever we get some questions, we're going to get rolling. And somebody asked or mentioned last time, why in the world is Josh Smith with you? And I'll tell you why, because he is my chief deputy, and he is a 28-year Henry County Sheriff's Office veteran. And I think that it's important for people to know who is second in command. And Josh is involved in all of the decision making.
So do that another time, not during primary election. I want to hear from the candidate, not the guy that you're going to put in the number 2 seat if you get elected.
Yeah. Very, very strange thing. I've seen candidates doing this because Josh actually knows the answers, some of the answers. I've really lost a lot of respect for Josh. You know, he did not mention me. There were a couple he didn't mention. But okay, here we'll kind of go through this.
He's here, and he will.
That's right. Not so fast.
And so, do we have any questions yet?
Not yet, but we might answer a few that came in last time and we weren't able to get to them. There was a question that came in about the social worker counselor there at the jail.
Yes.
And about her qualifications.
Yes.
Someone asked about that.
Yes.
So if you want to speak to her qualifications.
I do have that information somewhere.
Sure.
Yes.
I've got it.
You've got it. That's why Josh is. So Josh, you go ahead.
So Megan.
Weird.
And she has her master's degree in social work, and she's working toward her clinical in social work.
Okay. And she is there 40 hours a week, 5 days a week. And that was a big change. I believe when we took office 3 years and 3 months ago, we had 1 day, I believe it was just 1 day of mental health help for our inmates. And so we've really put a focus on that. And they have it 40 hours a week. And also when someone is not there, we can get a hold of somebody through telehealth, I guess, telemental health. And Megan does a great job. She is top notch. She has a heart for it. I talked to her, it's been a couple weeks ago, and I so much appreciated what she said. She said that every morning I get up and I pray and say, Lord, help me to help somebody today. And she's just doing a great job. So any other questions that we can pick up on last time?
I want to tag on a question that someone asked, and you addressed the therapy and the counseling that you have available for your deputies.
Yes.
That is paid. And so you talk a little bit about that. And then the follow-up question was, are you yourself going to counseling and in therapy?
Yes. So good question. Obviously, mental health for officers is a very serious thing. And that is something that is somewhat tricky, I would say. So we really tried to figure out how do we handle this. It would be difficult for an officer to come up to you and say, hey, I've been having thoughts of suicide or whatever. He's been dealing with some really tough stuff. So here is the approach that we took. And without taxpayer money, we actually pay for it out of the commissary fund. And we buy a certain amount of visits to mental health experts, specifically for law enforcement.
All right.
And again, I will group text all of our chaplains. I don't give them specific details.
Moving on.
Dan Martin has done a phenomenal job.
Yes.
They have revamped all of the policies in the jail. They're all up to date to today's legal standards. And they just do a phenomenal job.
Oh,
the culture,
absolutely.
The culture's changed, and I think that's been one of the biggest successes.
Yeah.
I want to follow up on. I want to talk about inmate population. When we took office, it's no secret to anybody, I don't think, that we were sued by the federal government into build a new facility. So we built a new approximately $25 million jail.
Joe, I think it's because he is feeling a little loose. He's just, this is a different Sproles than I've seen before. I don't know. Maybe he's just feeling it. I don't know. I don't know what's the deal is, but he's this is different.
And sheriff's office, it's beautiful.
Was there a bingo to be had after all of this, Chris? So, well, I need to talk to somebody. I don't believe that we actually got an official bingo because I don't think he hit some of the things. However, somebody did yell out a bingo. And so I don't know. I'm going to have to find out and see if we did have a winner or not. But I'm going to have to get back with him, and I'm going to have the judges come in and do a review. I think I would claw my eyes and ears out because this is now going to be the second time I'm listening through this. I don't know that I have it in me again, but we will find out. And if we do have a winner out there, we will give you some kind of something, merch, or I'll give you one of these knickknacks on the wall or something back here. So I don't know. We'll figure something out. But yeah, so too much holy water. Okay, here we go.
And but one issue that we was having even after building the new jail, the jail population was just climbing, seemingly out of control. I know right after we took office, it was increasing and increased.
We were just arresting everybody.
At one point, we had 251 inmates, and just so you know, our jail maximum population is 256.
That is true. It is 420 today, so hey,
80% of that. And
if he's off, maybe he's Sproling.
There was talk about building a $10 to $15 million addition on the jail, and that is something that, as long as I'm your sheriff, I'm going to be completely against, and I will tell you why. Data-driven information. When there was talk about, we've just got to build another addition onto the jail, I said, give me some time to figure out why in the world our jail population continues to climb. So I had jail staff run some data, and there are 92 counties in Indiana, and 91 of those have their own jail. There's one county, I think it's Ohio County, that doesn't have a jail. And what I found out, it didn't shock me, but we were incarcerating per capita, per the amount of people in our county. We were at basically the highest level. We incarcerate per capita more inmates than practically 90 other jails. And so
I just find that hard to believe. I really have a hard time believing anything that he says.
Not dangerous people. And what I found out is that our inmates are not getting through the judicial system in an expeditious manner as they should. And so we've taken some steps to lean into that.
Absolutely. Not so fast. You're absolutely right. They were.
And I get back in the jail a lot and talk to our inmates. And I will tell you that there are many inmates that will tell me, I've been here 9 months over some little charge, 9 months, 10 months. I've heard 16 months over a little charge where they do not have enough money to bond out. So they're stuck there waiting while their trial has been.
Yeah, I wanted to do that same thing, Rachel. I didn't know. That seemed a little off to me because I thought that he was in favor of the new pod. I was pretty damn sure that he wanted the new pod. So I need to go back and look at that too. If you've got somebody that's looking at, please let me know if we get to the bottom of that, because I want to know.
Continued 16 times. And he'd been in jail. He's been in our jail for over 2 years. It's been continued 16 times. Do you think that's because he wants to continue it? No, he wants to get his case through the system. So there is a breakdown, and there's a breakdown in the system. And I'm not going to say specifically what I think that is, but I would say that we are not getting people through the judicial system as fast as they should.
Listen,
you have a civil right to a fair and speedy trial. And I asked somebody who would be in the know, I said, hey, at what point are we violating their civil rights by just sitting here and getting their trial continued? And the answer was, I don't know. I thought, well, you probably ought to figure it out because that actually falls on you. And so I want to see our people move through the judicial system in an expeditious manner. So that is, we've been successful in keeping our jail population down, and that means a lot. That is a lot of money. I figure it takes somewhere around $20,000 a year per inmate that we're paying their food, we're paying their medical expense, and
pennies on the dollar for the food.
And I am absolutely against ever building an addition to our jail. I feel like that we should run in the 160 range of inmates. That is just the way it looks when you look at all the averages across all the counties in Indiana. And so I'm dead set against ever building an addition on the jail. So another question.
Yes, so we have a question, and he is really impertinent here, and he needs this answered really quickly.
Okay.
Because he said, I keep asking this, why don't we?
All right, now listen to this. Yes. Are you keeping the jail population down, or are you incarcerating more inmates per capita than 90 other counties? Do you notice what just happened there? That's insane. The answer that he just gave there was nuts. He said the complete opposite things on both ends of that answer. Totally crazy to me. Totally crazy. Okay, now I want you to listen to this. This is wild to me. Listen to this. This is question by Jeremy Godsey. Listen to this.
Answer. So I think it's time to answer this.
Let's hear it.
Jeremy Godsey says, okay, you totally avoided my question, the last Q&A you did about the craziness. You totally avoided my question. I'm talking about all the tort claims against you. You have had more tort claims against you, and you caused the county to be so-called, quote, self-insured, end quote, because of you. So please do answer the question and not beat around the bush. I am a taxpayer and voter in Henry County. Stop beating around the bush. Answer these tough questions since you want to be reelected.
Jeremy Godsey. Okay.
What was that? What was that? What was the Jeremy Godsey? Okay. What was that about? That was weird. His laugh is weird. He's just he's off. He's so loosey-goosey weird in this whole thing.
So, believe me, I hear about all the tort claims. It's all me. It's all me. We did address tort claims in the last session. Maybe you haven't jumped on yet, but I'll readdress it. And again, as I said at first, we're going to talk about facts. We're going to talk about facts. Here are the facts. I had our insurance company send me a list of my first 3 years of tort notices and lawsuits compared to the last 3 years of the last administration. And get ready for the shocker. I had one more filed against me, than the last administration had filed against them in our 3-year segments. So one more. And let me speak further to that. There is an attorney who has been after me from day one. And this was confirmed by our county attorney when we had a conversation not too long ago about it. he has filed the bulk of those. And just so you know, a tort notice, you can file a tort notice on anything you want to. Ask Randy Howard. I think he's got a couple torts filed now, or a couple lawsuits filed, because I said he was a misinformation propagandist. So he files a lawsuit about it. And I think there's another one now that he's suing the city council about sign, how big a sign is. Let me give you another example about a tort notice. There's a organization called Christmas Behind Bars, a wonderful organization that gives out literally hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of gifts around Christmas time to inmates. They've been gracious to us, and each year they've come down and given out gifts. And the owner of that told me he just got sued because apparently an inmate was maybe in the shower or something and didn't know he was there, and he didn't get a gift bag, and he filed a lawsuit on it. So these tort notices, and I'm going to let Josh talk about it here. Josh reads these. You would be shocked at the tort notices that are just 100% false. There's no truth in them at all. Let me talk about a lawsuit. I didn't mention in the last segment. I woke up to the news one day, probably a year and a half ago, and it was all over the news channels, all the local news channels, the Henry County Jail, and they went on to list the most shocking claims from a lady that said I sexually abused her. This list was 10 miles long. It went all over the TV stations. And I thought, when I heard that, the first time I heard, I thought, what is this? I know this person, and I have a voicemail on my phone at my office from this person as soon as they got out of jail, saying, thank you so much. Your officers were so kind to me. I was having a mental breakdown, and all of your employees were just so kind and helpful. Thank you. So then we've got all these allegations out there, shocking allegations. And so I immediately go.
That's absolutely correct, Rachel.
That person wasn't in jail very long at all. And it was the ACLU that filed the lawsuit. And here they got all this airtime of horrible, horrible accusations. So we looked through the cameras of every second that person was in jail.
All right, we're moving on.
There are almost 80,000 more lawsuits filed against law enforcement just in a 1-year span. And
no, he didn't answer the question. That's true.
So this is not because of me. And I know that sounds good. I know that's a great, especially during political time. It is that's a hot topic. Of Sproles is making the county go broke, and I was broke. I think about in 2015.
Ding 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 ding. And if you had that voicemail, the case would have been over.
You brought this to my attention.
I also feel like that's not an actual story.
And yes, about a rainy day fund. I was using that term generically. I didn't even know.
Excess law enforcement liability went down even more than that. So if the sheriff's that much of a liability, then why did that decrease?
I think that you posted an actual picture of that on your talked about this with one of the commissioners, and
I want listen to this.
Put that money aside. I believe we do that now with our health insurance.
Yes,
should have done it a long time ago. So all Stacey. Of this, John Sproles is doing, the pursuit. We hear about the pursuit, and the insurance is going to have to pay out. What's interesting to me, and we actually talked about this with one of the commissioners and the county attorney the other day, is the political environment, and the attorney agreed that you didn't hear about this stuff previously, and you didn't hear. Man, we chased. I say we. I didn't. Our agency. I can think of 2 pursuits where we pursued motorcycles right into their death. Did you hear much about that? No. And we've had one pursuit that turned out as nobody would want it to. That is not on our officer. That is on the person that is fleeing. But you didn't hear this stuff. I mean, man, I can think of so many things. I'm just going to name one out. A lawsuit against a former sheriff, I'll not say which one, who punched a juvenile in the face who was handcuffed because he smarted off to him, splattered his face, splattered blood off all over one of our officers that are still around. And did you ever hear about that? No, didn't hear about that. I'd be in federal prison if I did that. So, I guess people that want to run with the hype, run with the hype. But we're going to deal with the facts.
So we have a question from Bobby Baggett. How many officers patrol in the Paris Landing area?
Josh, you've been here 28 years.
Is there a Paris Landing?
Where is the Paris Landing
find
area?
out where this guy was from. So
I've never heard of Paris Landing.
He may be thinking this is
That
Henry
might be-
County, Georgia or something.
Yeah, it could be, because
Yeah,
there is a Henry County, Georgia.
Yeah.
So I am not aware. Josh has been here 28 years. I'm not aware of a Paris Landing, and so I can't answer that question.
Okay, and we'll move on. Dan Criswell asks, what training do you believe is most lacking in law enforcement in general today?
That's a good question. Josh, be thinking about that. I'll let you step
Paris
into
Landing
that.
is in Henry County,
law
Tennessee.
Enforcement is quickly evolving the, what would we say, just the climate of law enforcement. I would think, and we do a good job at this, but mental health has got to be the biggest issue that we deal with. And we've been very, very laser focused on sending our officers to the mental health.
Laser focused.
Am I going to get sued? Because that is a very real.
In fact, we had to use our ATV to rescue a hunter that had fallen out of his tree stand and had broken back. And it's amazing. In the parade last year, we were flying our drone, and I
know you've worked real hard on getting a budget that makes sense, that meets the needs of our office. And I think that's been a big factor. And that's
17. I had been a reserve previous to that. I came back on the reserves in 2017, and I realized this sheriff's office is broken. And that's when I think that a business mind to it, we can help. We can get our officers better,
yeah, right. Not so fast.
Paid. And so what I was going to say is, being the sheriff.
He says it's broken, and then says the way to fix it is to give people more money.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah.
It's an honor, and I appreciate that honor. It's truly an honor. However, whether I'm the sheriff or not, my identity is not wrapped up in being the sheriff. I guess that's the best way to say it. So
shit.
I can go from sheriff to low man on the pole and go back to patrol, and I will enjoy it, because then they'll just turn off.
Hey, you heard it here, folks. He will enjoy being low man on the pole.
All of the heat to the next sheriff, and he'll be getting the lawsuits, not me. I want to say this real quick about the lawsuits. You live and learn. I really hammered on the lawsuits when I ran the first time. That all these lawsuits, and you'll learn it's part of the position. And
he's taught, like, Josh is going to take over the sheriff's office.
Anything to do with? I'm right there on the top of the list. So, okay, hopefully that answered.
Yeah, she also follows up. Are you confident on winning this election?
So I'll say what I have said when I ran the first time. This type of stuff it's in the Lord's hands, and I obviously could get beat. I'm very well aware of that, and I don't lose sleep over that. Whatever the vote turns out will be what it is, and so I don't lose sleep over it. I don't worry about it.
Yeah.
If
MLM Warriors, he's got such a hard time. He cannot. He's even worse than me in that regard. I got to be honest.
So Rachel Clark asks, what is on your bucket list if elected again? What are a few things that you want to accomplish?
Well, good question. I don't necessarily have a bucket list. The thing that I have said from the outset, it is the sheriff's primary obligation to take good care of their employees first, in order for the employees to be able to take good care of the community. Obviously, our main goal is to protect and serve the community. So, but we have got to take good care of our officers in order for them to take good care of the citizens. Care of our officers.
Now we can shift that focus. And I think
does a lot of our work on
We're
our
jumping
bridge.
ahead here, folks,
It's been from local governing bodies. So do we have anything else?
Yeah, I think we have a real creative approach here.
Okay.
From Danae Young.
Okay.
So I'm guessing Joe Young is probably on the board.
Now I want you to listen to this right here, because he says a lot about this. He talked a lot about this at the last one. I wanna clear some things up here.
So let me just stop right here and say this. I couldn't be more proud of having Joe Young as a deputy sheriff at the Henry County Sheriff's Office. Joe Young was a 14-year DNR officer, state DNR officer, and I'm glad you brought that up, because I'm going to say a couple things.
Say a couple things.
I know. Well, so I might answer it, but let me say this about Joe. Joe took a significant pay cut. And when I say significant, I'm talking significant, to come and work for us. He had work.
Okay, and last time he was like, "Hey, we're so good, people are even leaving their job and leaving lots of money to come work with us." Nah. I'm going to be real clear here. I don't know anything about Officer Deputy Young. Okay, I don't know anything about him. He might be a hell of a guy. He might be a wonderful person. He might have been a fantastic bunny police officer, DNR. Okay, he might have been a great bunny cop. Okay, I got no issues with him. He might be a world-class deputy. I have no issues with him. I'm going to tell you why he took that pay cut and came to the Henry County Sheriff's Department. Because he either, and I have heard this from sources, and I have confirmed this. What I don't know is he either built a house or he bought a house. He either built a house. DNR is Department of Nat. Okay, I didn't see that was you. I was like, what the hell? I actually thought that was Karen. Anyways, it's been a day. He either built a house or bought a house. I don't know which, but whatever he did, he built it or bought it out of the district that he worked in. And their policy is that's a no-no. You can't do that. And they told him, we're not transferring you to this other district. So you either have to move back into the district, which meant he would have had to have moved out of this house that he bought or sold, and he would have had to deal with this. And so instead of doing that, he decided to give that job up, and then he got hired by the Henry County Sheriff's Department. So this was not because he heard the culture had changed and he heard that it wasn't raining F-bombs in Henry County Jail anymore. It's because we love Sproles. It wasn't anything to do with that. It was because he no longer fit the criteria for what the DNR needed him to do for him to be staffed where they had him staffed, living where he was living. So he quit the DNR and he took a job at the Sheriff's Department. And he's probably the best bunny police in the world. And he's probably the best. Maybe he should be sheriff. I don't know anything about him. Good guy, wonderful guy. And I'm okay that he wants to live where he wants to live and you know, happy life, happy wife or whatever. He's like, no, they're not going to tell me where I can live. I can live wherever I want. Good for you. More power to you. More power to you. But this is a load of crap. Now let's listen here what goes on.
In our county for all of those 13, 14 years with DNR. And
he
so,
said,
but here's what he told me.
Boy, you really got this
told me,
department
and he
going
confirmed
good.
this.
Look at
He
his,
said,
look
"You
at his
need to write a
face.
book on the culture change." He said, I have
You could write a book.
I've worked with this county for 14 years. I have never seen a culture change so fast. And he said, it's amazing. And that's why I want to come work here, because the brass cares for their officers, and what a great pickup. So go with the questions.
So her question is, I think she gets credit here. Oh, she's being creative to ask you this live.
Just stop for a second.
When can
I have no doubt that when that kid was in there doing his interview to get that job, he is going to sit there and he is going to talk. Oh, yes, this is a wonderful place. I hear such good things about it. He wants a job.
Yeah.
You don't walk in and go, yeah, I heard you're kind of a shitbag and like getting sued, but hire
They
me.
literally say, don't pull a Sproles. Every department tells all their guys before leaving roll call, don't pull a Sproles today. He's not going in there saying that. Nobody would do that.
Yeah, he wants a job. Of course he's going to kiss some ass. Just no.
He didn't give it up to work for Sproles. He gave it up to live where he and his wife or partner or whatever wanted to live. And that's what the deal was. He moved to a location that was no longer in the district where they were okay with him living. That's the deal. So it's got nothing to do with working for Sproles. That was just, it's like, what's the deal? It's like, you've got cancer and you treat the cancer, but now you've got erectile dysfunction. He moved to live in a good area, and it wasn't, the bad part about it is now he's got to work for Sproles. I mean, he'll deal with it, but whatever.
Joe Young moved to day shift.
And that's the question. Will this guy that was such a wonderful DNR trooper, he's been there, he's bunny police for 30 years or whatever, 13 years, something like that. And he's on, and they've got him stuck on night shift. When can he move to days? And that's the great big question. And they're sitting around laughing and cutting it up. Ooh.
She gets points. I don't know her, but she gets
think Joe probably set her up to ask that, you think?
You should pawn that off on the lieutenant.
Yes.
We got a lieutenant or the Dallas? Where's the lieutenant at?
Night, and he was on duty, and I asked some of the guys, hey, when can Joe bump up to day? So, Danae, here's what I will say to you. As soon as Joe can get on day shift, we'll get him on day shift.
Good answer.
Good answer.
We don't want to lose.
Good answer.
I might have to go work nights and let Joe take my
position. It was the wife, Danae.
Teresa Jo Lehman Hargis.
Okay.
John, please tell us why you are the best person for this job. What makes you different from everyone else?
I'm the only sheriff running. I'm the only person that's ever been sheriff is running.
Good question. The Bible says, let another man's lips praise you and not your own. So I'm not going to praise myself at all. Oh, I want to say this. What I did tell Joe Young, I said, Joe, listen, I'm not the one that has made all of the change. I say the Lord has helped us. And I say that unapologetically. The Lord has helped.
Sproles 2013 says, let another man's lips graze your ass, I think is what he said.
Our sheriff's office get to where it is at.
I don't need another man's lips to graze my ass. I'm capable of doing it myself.
I will say to that is...
He keeps looking at Josh like he wants Josh to jump in and praise him for him.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Absolutely.
You know, I am the only candidate
Rachel.
who's been the sheriff.
Love it.
And we have came from some tough times at the sheriff's office to some great times at the sheriff's office. And so I know what it's like. And like I just alluded to a minute ago, when I was campaigning the last time, I was throwing bombs at all these tort notices and all that. You learn some things. It's been a humbling experience. I've do this.
Be humble.
It's been very humbling, and
humbling.
You learn a lot. You learn what you didn't know, and there's still plenty that I don't know. But
I don't know. You need to tell me.
Key, and I had a voter say this not too long ago, and I think it's very, very important. This voter said, I want to know what the employees at the sheriff's office want, because that sheriff is going to be over those employees. And I can tell you this, that I can confidently say that our employees want another 4 years of me serving as their sheriff. So,
dude, he's
specifically, why am I better?
He's such a tool bag. Are these pineapple lamps?
Yes, they are pineapple lamps. And again, if you're going around asking your guys, what do you think of the sheriff's race? Again, you're my boss and could send me to the merit commission on some trumped up thing and get me fired. So let me think, how am I going to answer that question? Other than, oh, no, we love you.
Yeah, right.
I just don't get it.
It does look like the funeral home, but isn't the pineapple a symbol for swingers or something like that? Weird. Okay. Yeah, Kate. Yeah, I don't get it either. Pineapples are a funeral home thing? What? Now I gotta find that out. Because they're definitely a symbol for swingers. I know that for a fact. Oh, yeah. Hold on. Ding, 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 ding. I'll get this. I'm glad you just said that. Hold on. I'm printing the page. Give me a second. That's beautiful. Oh, God, Rachel. I am so glad you just got done saying that. Look, I purposefully said the pineapple is the symbol for swingers, waiting to find out who the swingers in the chat were that would correct me and tell me, no, it's the upside down pineapple. So all of you freaks out there, I did that on purpose. God, I'm just kidding you. I love you guys. I don't care what you're doing outside of wherever, whoever, whatever you're doing it to. It's fine with me. That's hilarious. Here we go.
I'm not better. I listen and I've grown up in the church. I hate, what do they call it? Social, I'm not better than anybody else, period. The Lord loves everybody the same. So I'm not.
Pineapples are used in funeral homes and memorial context, primarily representing hospitality, welcoming, and warmth, particularly in southern U.S., while sometimes used in funeral home branding to suggest welcoming home.
That you bring some qualities that
interesting.
I've not seen in other sheriffs. You have that business background. Budgets, I've worked with you on budgets, and you do an amazing job on the budget.
What is this?
Great leader. You take care of your.
You're a great leader.
Your employees.
Yeah, he got Josh to praise him.
I would say you have that going for you. You're
crazy.
You don't. No, you don't. And sometimes you may get some slack for not being in the office, sitting at your desk 8 hours a day. But you're out there with your people, and they appreciate that. And it's very easy to
those people
in an admin role to lose touch with what it's like on the streets.
So speaking about it being difficult on the family.
It is. Okay. But one thing that's tough on family is hearing all of these freaking lies.
Yeah.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here is the weirdest part of the entire interview. His brother, Todd, Rod, Jod, whatever, I don't know what his name is. His brother wants to stop the show, and he wants to ask a question. I'm going to stop this, throw away the script. I'm going to ask you a question that I want to know the answer to. And then he says, it's hard on the families. You know, I just want you to know that these freaking lies are hard on me and hard on the family. And then from here, it gets freaky. Ladies and gentlemen, the freak show.
That come around on social media, you don't have to have any truth. People can just say what they want. I've heard this week you have a baby, like out at the ER. You've been having an affair with a nurse. It's just nonstop. You've had multiple affairs since you've had been sheriff, stuff like this. So here's the thing. I want to just ask you point blank. Have you been having affairs?
I have not, and I'm glad you brought that up. I got a message. So speaking about it being difficult on the family. I think people forget that really quickly. You know, I do have a wife and children and family, and I actually had a message yesterday. I believe it was yesterday that said, I just want you to know I voted for you the first time and I will never vote for you again. I know that you've been having multiple affairs the last couple of years. I know that your wife kicked you out of the house. And so I messaged back and I said, well, I'm sorry to see this. I said, but I'm very sorry to see that you would just believe something like that. And I said, it's not the case at all. And here's my wife's cell phone number. I want you to reach out to her. This stuff affects her as well. And, I go back, 2 months or so ago, I saw where Randy Howard had posted that that I had got up in church and admitted to having an affair, and my wife kicked me out. And I thought, oh, Randy Howard, whatever. But I've been getting it from everywhere. I've heard as well. I heard last week somebody said, I heard you had a baby with an ER nurse. Not the case. I have not been having affairs in the last 2 years, multiple affairs, not one affair. And so here's what I would say.
Listen to what his answer. I have not been having multiple affairs in the last 2 years. That's his answer. I've not been having multiple affairs in the last 2 years.
And of course he doesn't have a baby. Because from what I understand, the lady who would have had his baby is no longer on this planet to have the baby.
Well, I didn't know we were going to cover that, but yeah.
That's the rumor anyway.
Yeah. So, yeah. Here's the deal. I don't know what about the last 50 years? I don't know. This is so weird. So I've heard a lot of rumors, and Sproles can talk shit about a lot of people, but one of those things he cannot do is he can't point fingers at us, because I have not covered most of the rumors that I've heard about Sproles in this area. I get it all the time. I run down about everything I possibly can, and I will tell you, I don't think that he's being truthful here. I don't think that he's being truthful here in what he's saying, but that's between him and his wife and whoever else's wife and their husband or their people and his God. In my mind, I'm going to continue saying that. I will say, for him to say, no, I'm ashamed that you would believe this, and here's my number, you can call my wife. That is the weirdest thing. That was the weirdest thing that happens here. But I'm also telling you, I don't believe anything that he is saying here. I don't believe anything he's saying here. There's just too much rumor, and I'm going to leave it there. And I've heard what Kate's referring to, and all I can tell you is, from the things that I've heard, extremely reliable, I'm not even going to say sources, from actual people that would be in positions of power, would be in positions of being connected to family, being in positions of the church. I've heard a lot of things that make, to me, this part of the interview detestable. It's very gross. And I feel like what Sproles is doing here is putting himself in a really dangerous game spiritually.
Okay. Is why don't you all reach out to my wife? You know, I know all this. She would be interested to hear about
nuts.
So it is unfortunate that that's where we get to in local politics is, hey, let's just say he's been.
If there's a grain of truth to the number of rumors that have circulated about him, then he's lying about something. And the fact that he's lying to get himself elected, he's going to have some serious problems. And he's going to have some serious answering to God at some point for this great Christian man.
Yeah. I mean, the fact,
and
listen.
He said, all of you call my wife.
All of you call my wife.
So I don't have to listen to it. She has to deal with it.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Listen, his wife did not want him running for re-election. She's not. You know what? I was talking to somebody. I'm not even going to out who I was talking to. I was talking to somebody, and we were just talking about, listen, politics and politicians and affairs and all of that is, as old as time. It's nothing new. It shouldn't be shocking anymore. It's just run of the mill. But you always see a couple of different things. You see people who just completely deny, completely just don't pay any attention to it. You see the people who come out denying it, just completely hardcore with their spouse next to them. And then you see the person that comes out denying it by themselves. I think it's very telling that his wife is not here with him. His wife, if this was true, if what he was saying was true, she would have been waiting off on the wings and for this question, because remember, folks, this question was not asked to him by a person. This was asked by his brother. They knew this was going to be asked. There's no way in hell that his brother just dropped this on him. But there you go, 1,000%. Why would you tell anyone to contact your wife? I would be telling people, you better not contact my wife. If you contact my wife, we are going to have a problem. And the fact that he's like, yeah, screw it. Here's my wife's number. Call her. I'll tell it to all of you on this Q&A. It's 765-529. That's crazy.
Have an affair, and that'll cost him some votes. I would appreciate that. And this individual said, I'm praying that your marriage can be restored. And I said, well, we're not in a situation where my marriage needs to be restored. And when I said, here's my wife's number, you can reach out to her. They said, no, I'm not going to reach out to her. I'm going to pray for her because I feel sorry for her. So I actually think you, and you know who you are, you probably owe it to my wife to go ahead and reach out and give her the information that you know about. And I would say that to any, we get this all the time. Just say whatever you want. And again, you can run off of your feelings, but I deal with facts. And so that's why I'm having these question and answer live, unscripted, because I want to talk about facts and not feelings. And it's disappointing and it's hard on the family.
It is very hard on us. And I'm going to follow up with just saying, there's probably nobody other than your mother who knows you better than I know you as your older brother.
Hey, go easy here.
Yeah, I'm going to go easy on you. I'm going to go hard on you. But here's what I know. I know that you're a man of prayer. I know you're a man of daily scripture. You're in the Word every day. Your staff is in the Word every day. I know that you meet with a very well-respected person here and have since day one being the sheriff. You meet with him weekly as an accountability partner and somebody that will speak truth into your life.
Yes.
And we see all this stuff. Now your older sister, she maybe not quite have the control that some of us have.
She needs to stay off. She needs to stay off social media.
But her heart's in the right place because she's not allowing anybody to beat up on her brother.
Yes. Well, but speaking of,
she don't get to decide that.
Partner, I was never really into that type of thing, but this local pastor, very well known, well respected guy here in town, said, "John, you need an accountability partner." And
they're in the scriptures every day.
And I think the first little bit was monthly, but has been weekly. And yes, I am in the Word every day. Isaiah 60 is what I read today. And so, people can rage on and think what they want to, but I know that I have served this county with integrity, and those things are false. And so I just have to leave it in the Lord's hands.
Yeah, and I think something to keep in mind is this is a very low percentage of people that are negative, that just spread gossip, but the majority of the community, the those that go out and vote, they're good people. They can see through that.
Yeah,
and that's why we're doing this Facebook Live, is for those people that really, I love some of the questions today.
They've been good questions.
And it makes us happy to be able to answer those questions because we know it's people that's truly interested.
Absolutely. One, just talking about the online stuff that can really, and I know we're going to have to wrap it up, but we're going to be back here next Monday, and we'll do it again. So, but one interesting thing that I've watched online that has just been crazy. I went to Ohio a while back. It was a Friday. I had a date planned with my wife. And I thought, man, this is great. I'm going to clock out about 2 o'clock.
A date planned with his wife.
Where we knew we've got to help somebody. I drove all the way to Ohio, and all our chaplains were praying because it was a serious situation, and ended up making contact with that individual in Ohio, well into Ohio, working with Ohio State Police. And actually, I would say that, and I don't know, maybe I'll have that individual on here and they can talk about it. But I saw pictures. You would not have believed all of the trash talk of what's he think he's doing in Ohio. There were pictures posted of me in my sheriff uniform with the city burning behind me. And I thought, if you only knew what that did, like I said, I may have that individual talk about it.
That counts as a mention of you
after posting all of that stuff.
Stuff.
I'm going to
say
that's
true.
A life was saved that day. And but you hear all the horrible trash.
How to save a life.
I don't get too. You know me well enough to know I don't get too wrapped around the axle with.
How did that start out with? I was trying to take my wife on a date.
You do well
yeah.
And I think that's part.
And I don't get, and I'm not going to get online and batter back and forth because that's not the place to handle.
But you do do that.
So we're going to come back next Monday, and we're going to do this again. So, and we'll see you next week.
Great. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That was Sheriff Sproles. He's very tiring. I tell you, I watched that, and I just something. I don't know. Something's off with him. Something is off with him. But his wife hasn't been at any of his events or on the Facebook chats. Yeah. Absolutely. Very, very, very strange. So, I don't know. The people of Henry County reelect him. You get what you get. If surely you're not electing Henry County, the comedy relief for Henry County, Randy Howard. That would be nuts. That's crazy. Hey, the last thing that I have to say, moving on from Sproles just for a second, I want to talk about this, and I do need to. I do hope his wife is okay. I hate that. I hate that, and I hate what he's doing. I think that's gross. I think it's all terrible, and I just everything there is just a bad deal. Well, I cannot get rid of this. How do I get rid of this? Okay, there we go. I wondered what the hell was going on. I'm going to talk about this more in depth probably tomorrow, but I do want to talk a little bit about Chase Heinhold. I did invite him on the show. He didn't want to come on the show. He doesn't understand the purpose of coming on the show. He feels his time is better suited elsewhere. That's fine. People say, well, you shouldn't get mad if people don't want to come on. I don't get mad for me, and I don't care. It's not about me. It's about the voters. And I've got a real problem with that, primarily because it sets us up for what the future will hold. If for some unknown reason he would be elected, he's already started off saying, I'm not going to utilize every aspect to talk to citizens of Henry County. I'm only going to do what I want to do, when I want to do it, how I want to do it. And that just cannot be okay. If you're out there and you're thinking about Chase Heinhold, if you're thinking that he's a possibility for commissioner, you need to think again. He is running against Steve Duggar. Duggar is the candidate that I am fully backing, and I want Duggar to win. Duggar will be a good voice for the people of Henry County, and he will do you guys right. Chase Heinhold is looking to be a figurehead for his father-in-law, and we can't have any of that weirdness going on. Henry County needs a lot more than that. So just keep that in mind. We'll talk more about that tomorrow. Sproles, and your show's been informative for voters. Yeah, hey, I appreciate that. That means a lot, and I want people to be able to take that information and then do what you choose to do with it. That's it. That's all. So that's it. Everything happened in another county. Saying another county. So I'm not sure. Do what? Check with her on his Wi-Fi. Okay. Yeah, right. Crazy deal. Who knows? I don't know. All right, you guys have a wonderful rest of your night. Have a great tomorrow. We will be back here tomorrow. We have another candidate interview. Absolutely horrible, but no, I'm kidding. I don't know who's on tap for tomorrow. Let's take a look. I don't know that I'll tell you, but I will definitely look, and maybe I'll tell you. Do you want to know? Do you want me to tell you? Stand by. I'll tell you who's on tap for tomorrow. Maybe. Tomorrow it will be Delaware County candidate Republican candidate for commissioner running against Matt Kantz. It will be Mr. Don Chambers. So tune in tomorrow. We'll talk about that and things going on. All right. We also have to talk about a commissioner getting arrested up in Grant County, and a lot of other things going on. So I'll keep you posted. You guys take care. God bless. Have a good evening, and we will see you back here tomorrow. Good night and good bye.